You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you keep starting your life too late. Every morning you hit snooze, somebody with less talent gets a head start on the future that was meant to be yours. And if you want a voice that refuses to let you lie to yourself when your habits get weak, stay close to this space and subscribe, because some truths need to follow you into the morning, not just visit you for one night. I know some of you are carrying more than you show. I know your chest has been heavy, your thoughts have been loud, and your hope has been fading in quiet little pieces. I know you have made promises to yourself in the dark and broken them at sunrise. I know what it feels like to be disappointed in your own reflection before the day even begins. But hear me clearly. Wake up early or stay behind. Wake up early or stay behind. That is not a slogan. That is not just something people put on a wall. That is the law of distance between who talks and who becomes. Because the first loss of your day is not money. It is not opportunity. It is not status. The first loss is direction. The first loss is ownership. The first loss is giving away the cleanest hour you had before the world got its hands on you. Think about that. Before the messages, before the noise, before the stress, before the demands. There is a moment when your life is still yours, and what you do in that moment tells the truth about you more than anything you say at night. Morning is a mirror. Morning does not care about your excuses, your plans, or your good intentions. Morning asks one brutal question. When it was time to move, did you move? People keep saying they want discipline, confidence, peace, money, strength, focus, purpose. Fine. Then why do they keep losing the first fight? Why do they keep getting beat by a warm bed and a weak negotiation with themselves? Let that settle in. If you cannot lead yourself out of comfort, you will not lead yourself into greatness. If you cannot win the private battle, you will not win the public one. If you cannot rise when no one is watching, do not be shocked when your life stays average while everybody else keeps moving. No one is coming to wake you up. No one is coming to force you to become disciplined. No one is coming to build your future while you sleep through the opening hour. The person capable of changing your life is already in the mirror. Not in blaming, not in complaining, not in waiting, but in ownership. And that is why early rising matters. It is not about pretending to be better than anybody else. It is not about joining some perfect club of morning people. It is not about acting like rest has no value. Rest matters. Sleep matters. Recovery matters. But hiding is not recovery. Escaping is not rest. Delaying your life is not peace. Too many people stay in bed not because they need healing, but because they are avoiding truth. Truth says you are behind. Truth says you have been drifting. Truth says your habits have been making decisions your goals can never survive. Truth says your future is asking for one version of you while your mornings keep delivering another. Days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and then one day you wake up angry that your life did not change, even though you kept handing away the very hour that change was asking for. Wake up early or stay behind. That line should bother you a little. Good, it is supposed to. Because some words are medicine, and medicine does not always taste soft. The alarm is not your enemy. The alarm is your witness. It watches who you are when the room is cold, the bed is warm, and no one would know if you quit. That moment tells you whether you are a dreamer or a builder, a talker or a doer, a man chasing comfort or a man building character. And character is built in the dark. Character is built in the quiet. Character is built in ordinary mornings when your body says no, and your future still needs you to say yes. So get up, wash your face, open the curtain, drink water, walk outside, read a page, sit with your thoughts, pray if you pray, write if you write, stretch if you must. Move before your excuses fully wake up. Because when you win the first hour, you stop entering the day like a victim and start entering it like an owner. And when you enter like an owner, something changes in your eyes. Something changes in your posture. Something changes in your decisions. You stop chasing the day and start leading it. The world may forgive delay. Time never does. So let me ask you this before we go any further. When tomorrow morning comes and comfort makes its offer again, which voice will you obey? The one begging for a little more sleep, or the one begging for a life you can finally respect? A life is a lot like a field, and every morning is seed time. That is the second truth people miss. They think success shows up in one giant moment. They think somebody gets discovered, gets lucky, gets blessed, gets chosen, and suddenly their whole life rises. But real growth is quieter than that. Real growth is dirt under the fingernails. Real growth is unseen roots. Real growth is one seed planted while nobody is clapping. You do not plant at noon and demand fruit by sunset. You plant early, you water early, you protect early. That is what your morning is. It is planting time. It is root time. It is the hidden work that makes visible results possible later. Most people want the tree without loving the soil. They want the harvest without respecting the season. They want the fruit without waking up to water the root. Then they look at somebody else's life and say, must be nice. No, it is not nice. It is planted, it is protected, it is repeated, it is fed in the dark while lazy people are still bargaining with the sunrise. Every page you read in the morning is a seed. Every workout you do before the world gets noisy is a seed. Every time you sit with your mind instead of drowning it in distraction, that is a seed. Every promise you keep before breakfast is a seed. Every hard thought you face instead of avoiding it is a seed. Do not laugh at the seed because it is small. A forest begins that way. A stronger body begins that way. A business begins that way. A new family story begins that way. A healed mind begins that way. A better man begins that way. Seed by seed, choice by choice, dawn by dawn. The problem is not that people do not know what to do. The problem is they keep digging up their own seed. They wake up early for 3 days, then go missing for 2 weeks. They get inspired one night, then disappear by morning. They start a routine, skip the first hard day, and then wonder why nothing is growing. You cannot grow what you keep uprooting. You cannot build confidence while proving to yourself again and again that your comfort has veto power over your calling. Feelings are real, but feelings are weather. They shift, they rise, they fall. Discipline is farming. Discipline stays when the sky changes. Discipline shows up when the mood does not. And if you are waiting to feel ready, you are already late because the field does not care about your feelings. The season moves anyway. Think about two people with the same dream, same age, same city, same pain, same amount of fear, same level of confusion. One gets up early and feeds the future before the world asks anything from him. The other wakes up late and spends the first hour reacting, scrolling, rushing, apologizing, recovering, trying to catch up with a day he never actually led. One is planting, one is panicking, one is growing roots, one is chasing surface, one is training trust, one is training delay. You tell me who wins after a month. You tell me who wins after a year. You tell me who wins after 5 years when the little choices have become very large consequences. Wake up early or stay behind. That is how the field works. Morning is clean ground. It has not yet been stepped on by everybody else's priorities. It belongs to the person who claims it first, and when you claim it first, something amazing happens. You start hearing yourself again. Not the fake version of you that talks big when life is easy, the real version. The version with standards, the version with hunger, the version that remembers the promise you made when you were sick of your own drift. Some of you do not need more motivation, you need more morning. You do not need one more quote, one more video, one more speech, one more burst of fake energy. You need one honest hour where you plant what you say matters most. Because what grows in your life is usually whatever you water first. Water fear first, fear grows. Water distraction first, distraction grows. Water weakness first, weakness grows. Water discipline, action, and self-respect first, and those grow too. That first hour is not just time on a clock, it is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. And every day you sleep through that vote, your excuses get stronger roots, your weeds get taller, your standards get softer, your confidence gets thinner. Let that settle in. The people who look steady under pressure often earned that steadiness before sunrise. The people who seem hard to shake usually built that strength while the street was quiet and the sky was still dark. They did not become solid by accident. They became solid by watering the right things early enough and long enough. So stop waiting for life to feel ideal before you start acting serious. Farmers do not argue with the season. They respect it. Your life has a season too. Your future is hungry too. Your field is waiting too. And every morning you delay the planting, the cost grows without making any noise. So tell me honestly, if your future has been starving because your habits keep refusing to water the seed, how much longer are you willing to call that harmless? Let us make this even more practical. Your life is built the way a wall is built, brick by brick. People love the finished wall. They love the look of confidence. They love the look of strength. They love the look of discipline, success, calm, focus, health, direction. But they do not love the bricks. They do not love the slow days, the boring days, the invisible days, the mornings where nothing feels magical and nobody is clapping and the only reward is that you kept your word. But that is how a wall gets built. One brick, then another, then another. One early alarm answered is a brick. One walk taken before sunrise is a brick. One chapter read while the world sleeps is a brick. One workout finished while excuses are still stretching is a brick. One moment of prayer, one page of journaling, 1 hour of planning, one choice to sit still with your goals instead of running from them, all of it is brickwork. Dreamers stare at the picture. Builders lay the brick. Dreamers fall in love with results. Builders fall in love with repetition. Dreamers keep waiting for the big break. Builders become the kind of people who do not need a big break to stay consistent. That is the difference. Your life does not usually collapse because of one giant failure. It usually weakens because of skipped bricks. One missed morning, one small surrender, one soft bargain with yourself, then another, then another, then another. And when life finally leans on you, the cracks show. We all want to be strong when things get heavy. We all want to stay calm when pressure hits. We all want to be trusted when it matters. Fine. Then build before the storm. Do not wait until your roof shakes to wish you had laid stronger bricks. Build now. Build early. Build tired if you must, but build. Here is what I love about this truth. It kills the drama. You do not have to change your entire life by lunchtime. You just have to lay today's brick. Get up, make your bed, put your feet on the floor like they belong there. Drink water, move your body, read something clean, feed your mind, face your thoughts. Plan your day, keep a promise, lay one brick. Then tomorrow, lay another. Discipline is not flashy. Discipline is honest. It is doing what needs to be done before you feel like doing it. It is refusing to let your mood run the house. It is understanding that every time you keep one small promise, your identity gets stronger. And identity matters more than intensity. Anybody can get fired up for one night. Anybody can talk big after a hard lesson. Anybody can feel inspired when music is playing and pain is fresh. But can you be the same person on an ordinary Tuesday morning when no one is looking and no one would punish you for quitting? That is where identity is revealed. That is where trust is built. Because once your mind starts believing, I'm the kind of person who gets up when I say I will, 1,000 other choices begin to shift. You eat differently, you speak differently, you move differently, you spend time differently, you choose friends differently, you handle pressure differently. Why? Because you no longer see yourself as someone who must be dragged through life. You see yourself as someone who moves on command. Think about that. The morning is not just about time, it is about proof. Proof that your mouth and your habits know each other. Proof that your future is not just a fantasy you visit at night. Proof that the person in the mirror can be trusted with something better. And trust in yourself is priceless. Lose money, you can earn more. Lose a job, you can find another. Lose a season, you can recover. But lose trust in your own word, and every dream gets heavier because deep down you know you might betray yourself again. That is why you guard the morning. That is why you treat the alarm like a contract. No excuses. No waiting. No rescue. Just action. Some mornings will feel clean. Some mornings will feel ugly. Fine. Missing one brick is not the end. Bowing down to a weak pattern is the end. Get back up. Lay the next brick, then the next, then the next. The wall does not ask whether you were in the mood. The wall responds to what you repeated. Wake up early or stay behind. Structure beats chaos every single time. So I need you to answer this without hiding. When the world is silent and your excuses are loud, are you really building a wall your future can lean on? Or are you leaving gaps and calling them minor? Now let us talk about seasons, because not every struggle is laziness. Some of you are in winter right now, some of you are carrying grief, some of you are carrying heartbreak, some of you are carrying fear you never asked for. Some of you wake up with a heavy mind before the day even begins. I understand that. I am not here to mock your pain or shame your tiredness. There are days when the soul feels cold. There are nights when the heart feels bruised. There are mornings when your bed feels like the only place where the world cannot demand anything from you. I know that is real. I know some of you are not just fighting bad habits. You are fighting sadness. You are fighting confusion. You are fighting the kind of private ache that makes ordinary tasks feel heavy. So hear me with both love and truth. The season may not be your fault, but your response is still your responsibility. Winter is real, so is spring. But spring never comes to a field nobody tends. And when you are in a dark season, waking early matters more, not less. Because pain left alone too long starts making rules. Shame gets louder in a dark room. Fear grows stronger when the day starts late. Delay gives your worst thoughts a larger stage and more time to perform. But when you get up early, you interrupt the spiral. You open the curtain, you let the light in, you tell your body to move even when your mood protests. You tell your spirit, we are not staying buried under this blanket forever. Let that settle in. Some people stay up late because they enjoy the quiet. Other people stay up late because they are afraid of what morning will ask them. Morning is honest. Morning asks, what are you doing with your life? Morning asks, are you healing or hiding? Morning asks, are you building or drifting? Morning asks, how long do you plan to keep calling delay a personality? That is why waking up early in a hard season can feel almost painful. It is not just your body getting up. It is your excuses getting exposed. It is your sadness being challenged. It is your old story being dragged into the light where it can no longer pretend to be truth. But that challenge can save you. It can save your schedule, yes, but more than that, it can save your spirit. A hard season will teach you one of two things. It will either teach you how to surrender or it will teach you how to stand. The morning helps decide which lesson you learn. Wake up early or stay behind. In a good season, that means stay sharp. In a hard season, that means stay alive. In a rebuilding season, that means stay faithful, because small, faithful mornings become strong, peaceful years. Picture a farmer holding seeds in winter. The wind is cold, the ground is stubborn, nothing around him looks like harvest. Yet he still plants because he believes in seasons more than feelings. That is maturity. That is wisdom. That is power. Anybody can act serious when the sun is shining and life feels easy. But the people who truly change are the ones who move when the sky is gray, when the mood is low, when the reward is late, when the heart is tired, when nobody would blame them for staying still. They understand that a season is usually changed by what you do before you can feel the change. You do not wake up strong and then become disciplined. You become disciplined and then one day realize you are strong. You do not wake up hopeful and then take action. You take action and then hope finally has somewhere to stand. This is why the early morning is not just a productivity trick. It is a lifeline. It can pull you out of spirals. It can remind you that even when everything is not in your control, something still is. You can stand, you can breathe, you can stretch, you can pray, you can walk, you can read one clean page instead of one poisonous feed. You can keep one small promise and let your heart start trusting you again. Slowly, quietly, the season begins to turn. Not all at once, not with fireworks, but like dawn. Dark, then dim, then light. Wake up early or stay behind. Because if you keep feeding winter habits, do not be shocked when your life keeps feeling cold. If you keep hiding in the dark, do not be surprised when your direction stays blurry. If you keep waiting for spring without planting anything, you are not being patient. You are being passive. And passivity has stolen more dreams than failure ever did. So let me ask you something that might stay with you all day. If the season you are living in right now keeps growing from the habits you keep feeding, what kind of season are you planting with your mornings? And are you finally ready to own that? Now, we have arrived at the deepest layer of all this. This is not really a talk about clocks. It is a talk about identity. It is a talk about whether you are going to keep riding in the backseat of your own life or finally take the wheel. The morning is the wheel. The morning is where direction gets decided before distraction starts shouting. If you lose the wheel early, the rest of the day drags you wherever it wants. Messages pull you, pressure pulls you, mood pulls you, fear pulls you. Other people's needs pull you, old habits pull you, and by night you are tired but not proud, busy but not clear, occupied but not fulfilled. That kind of life drains a man. It drains his eyes, it drains his standards, it drains the fire out of his plans. But when you wake up early, you touch the wheel first. You decide where your mind goes. You decide what gets your attention. You decide what matters before the world starts selling you 100 things that do not. That is how you stop being pushed around by your own life. And listen, waking early is not about showing off. It is not about posting pictures of sunrises to look disciplined. It is not about acting better than people who sleep later. It is about getting ahead of your excuses. It is about building a little distance between who you have been and who you said you wanted to become. It is about proving in plain and quiet ways that you are ready to be trusted with more. More peace, more responsibility, more opportunity, more money, more strength, more purpose. Why would life hand you more if you keep dropping the little time you already have? Think about that. The future you want is not built by giant speeches. It is built by repeated mornings. By nights where you prepare instead of drift. By alarms you obey instead of debate. By first steps you take fast before your old habits finish making their argument. Put the phone far from the bed. Decide your first action the night before. Lay out your clothes. Know the first 10 minutes before you close your eyes. Stand up quickly. Put light in the room. Put water in your body. Put truth in your mind. Put movement in your muscles. Keep it simple. Keep it real. Do not say, I will start when life calms down. Life does not calm down first. You calm down first, and then you lead better. Do not say, I need more motivation. No, you need a standard. Motivation is a guest. Standards live in the house. Do not say, I am just not a morning person. Be careful what you repeat about yourself. Labels become cages. Maybe you are not a morning person yet because you have practiced being a night escape artist for years. Fine. Practice a new identity. One day, then another, then another. Brick by brick, seed by seed, season by season. Wake up early or stay behind. There it is again, because it is still true. The gap between the life you want and the life you have is often hiding in one quiet hour. Guard that hour and it will start guarding you back. Some of you are 1 month away from a cleaner mind. Some of you are 1 season away from a stronger body. Some of you are 1 year away from becoming almost unrecognizable to the person who used to keep losing to the snooze button. But only if you stop negotiating with the very habit that keeps robbing your edge. The bed is soft. Regret is hard. Snooze is easy. Falling behind is expensive. Delay feels free in the moment, but it charges interest later, in lost chances, in weaker self-respect, in blurry days, in dreams that keep getting older while you stay parked. No more. Enough. Let the next sunrise meet a different version of you. Not perfect, not polished, not finished, but honest, ready, moving. Let the first promise of the day be the first promise you actually keep. Let the morning become the proof that you are done handing your future to weakness. Remember how this began. You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you keep starting your life too late. Close that loop now. See yourself months from today. The alarm rings and you do not argue. Your feet hit the floor with purpose. Your room is quiet, but your mind is clear. Your body is stronger, your eyes are steadier. Your word means something. Your money is improving. Your routines are cleaner. Your peace is deeper because your habits are no longer at war with your goals. Picture yourself walking into a room without needing approval because you already earned your own respect before sunrise. Picture the people you love noticing the change in your tone, your energy, your follow-through, your calm. Picture looking in the mirror and seeing proof, not just potential. Picture the old version of you barely recognizing the discipline in your face. That scene is not fantasy. That scene is built, morning by morning, promise by promise, choice by choice. This is where drift ends. This is where delay dies. This is where your future stops being a speech and starts becoming a life. No excuses, no waiting, no drifting, just rising, no hiding, no bargaining, no quitting, just building, no weakness, no surrender, no turning back, just becoming the man your future has been waiting for.